Today, I attempt to rebuild and win national championships with the Miami Hurricanes in every NCAA from NCAA football 2003 to current day EA Sports College Football 25. I'm giving myself just 5 seasons in every one of these games to win a national championship with the Hurricanes. And if I don't win national championships in at least 8 of the games, I have to give away a $100 gift card to one lucky viewer. Starting here with NCAA football 2003, this is the year we made it to the Natty and lost to Ohio State, when we haven't been back since. So starting things off here, man, we have an amazing roster. We got a senior Ken Dorsey at quarterback. We got Frank Gore, Willis McGahee, and Jarrett Payton at running back. Fullback, we got Kyle Cobia. At wide receiver, Andre Johnson, Kevin Beard, Ethnic Sands, Jason Gathers, a rookie Roscoe Parrish. At tight end, we got a sophomore Kellen Winslow. Our O-line is good, Ed Wilkins, Sherko Haji Rasul. We got Brett Romberg. At DM, we got Jerome McDougal, D-tackle William Joseph, and we got a sophomore Vince Wilford. We got DJ Williams and Howard Cook as our outside linebackers. At linebacker, we got Jonathan Vilman and Rocky McIntosh. At corner, we got Alfonso Marshall and Terrell Roll. We got Glenn Sharp, Kelly Jennings, and then we got Travaris Bain. Free safety, we got Maurice Sykes. Strong safety, we got V-Goat, Sean Taylor. Kicker Todd Severs, and then our punter is going to be Freddie Capshaw. Now, these earlier games, it might be a little bit easier for us to win with Miami. Once we get to the more recent games, we're really going to have to put in some rebuild efforts. Coming in top 25 in the very first game, we're preseason number 1. So that just goes to show you the type of talent and type of team we have here. Take a look at what our guys did up to this point. Ken Dorsey, 3,100 yards, 28 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions, 260 a game. On the ground, Willis McGahee, 201 carries, 919 yards, 4.5 a carry, 7 touchdowns. Jay Payton actually went crazy, 154 for 773, 5 yards a carry, 14 touchdowns. Frank Gore must have gotten hurt or something. I'm not really sure, but he was the best back on the board, but he had 2 touchdowns on 54 touches for 319 yards. Through the air, Andre Johnson was a 1,000-yard receiver. He had 9 touchdowns. Ethnic Sands had 6 touchdowns, Kellen Winslow with 5, and 5 for Kevin Beard. Defensively, Jonathan Vilman led us with 71. Sack leader goes to Jerome McDougal. Pick leader goes to Maurice Sykes with 7. Sean Taylor had 6. Can the Hurricanes finish the job here in NCAA 2003? And they get it done. They are Fiesta Bowl champions, and what looks like was an amazing game. 48-45 was the final score in overtime, and the Hurricanes emerged victorious. 12-1 is their final record, and we're moving on to NCAA 2004. Next up, we're here in NCAA 2004. This is where things really started to go downhill for us as a program. So the roster here for NCAA 2004, we got Brock Berlin, Frank Gore, we got Jarrett Payton still, Kevin Beard, Jason Gathers, Roscoe Parrish, Akeem Jola, Sonoris Moss is a freshman, Ryan Moore, Darnell Jenkins. Kellen Winslow's here for his last year. O-line is looking really, really good. D-line is looking good. Vince Wolfork is a dog. DJ Williams, Rocky McIntosh, Jonathan Vilman still here. We got Leon Williams, corner, Antrell Roll, Alfonso Marshall, Kelly Jennings, Glenn Sharp. We got Travaris Bain still. Sean Taylor has now moved over to free safety. At strong safety, we got Maurice Sykes. Coming in here, we're preseason number 3, which means we'll definitely probably be having a shot to play for a national championship. So here, another game, another first season, another conference championship. We win the Big East. But unfortunately, we will not be in the national championship here in season number 1. We go 11-1. We're number 6 in the nation, and we'll be taking on a number 3 Colorado State. The actual Natty is actually going to be Maryland versus Notre Dame. The most unforeseen Natty that you could think of. We do win our bowl game and win the BCS Bowl. We beat Colorado State 21-14, scoring 14 in the 4th quarter. This was a defensive battle. Frank Gore is our player of the game. 21 carries, 78 yards, another 5 catches, 94 yards through the air with 2 total touchdowns. So here in our very first offseason, we got to look at our players leaving. Vernon Carey is going to the league. DJ Williams is going to the league. Jonathan Vilma is going to the league. Alfonso Marshall going to the league. Maurice Sykes going to the league. And we're losing some other key contributors. Jarrett Payton, Jason Gathers, Kevin Beard. All in all, we are losing 12 guys, but luckily for us, they are all seniors or redshirt seniors. And now it's time for us to recruit. Take a look at the team overview. We need 2 running backs, a fullback. I don't really care about a fullback. We need 2 guards. We need 1 outside linebacker, 1 middle linebacker, and 1 strong safety. We get a number 1 offensive tackle, number 1 outside linebacker, number 1 wide receiver. And we get a bunch of other top 5 guys at their position, some top 10, some top 20s. And we got a good amount of guys that's going to fill the depth of our lineup. The top class in the nation was 16 5-stars, 4 4-stars, 2 3-stars, 22 total prospects. Take a look at the squad for season number 2. We have 4 99s. Kellen Winslow, Sean Taylor, Vince Wilfork, and Antrell Roll. That's nuts. Antrell Roll went up +8. Chris Myers went up +12 to a 98. Quindren Hill went up +10 to a 95. And we got a bunch of 90s on this squad. So preseason of season 2, we made the cover of Sports Illustrated, coming in as number 3 in the nation. So in season number 2 in NCAA 04, man, this season was going great. We won the Big East championship, blah, blah, blah. But we lost Week 15 to Pitt, 37-19. This team pretty much dominated every single game they played this year. You know what I'm saying? Except for this last week, and got their cheeks clapped, bruh. What the hell is going on? So they won't be playing in the Natty. They're going to be playing in the Sugar Bowl, taking on 10-2 UCLA. The Natty's going to be 13-0 Auburn and 14-0 Oklahoma. Take a look at the stats this year. Brock Berlin threw for 3,400 yards, 31 touchdowns, 13 picks. On the ground, Frank Gore ran for 1,200, 10 touchdowns. Moss, 8 touchdowns. He had 707 yards. Receiving wise, Roscoe Parrish, 937, 4 touchdowns. Jala, 814 with 10 touchdowns. Kellen Winslow, 566 with 8 touchdowns. Frank Gore chipped in with another 4 there. Defensively, Leon Williams led us in tackles. Thomas Carroll led us in sacks. Picks goes to Sean Taylor with 5. So once again, we win our BCS Bowl game, but I don't know how long it's going to take us to get back here because we're losing a lot of good players. Brock Berlin broke the school record for passing touchdowns in the season. So taking a look here, we're losing our starting quarterback. We're losing our starting tight end, backup tight end, right guard, center, right end, both D tackles, top corner, and our best free safety. So not a bad season. Once again, we keep losing one game in the year. This year was Virginia Tech. They beat us by 25. We don't even lose these games close. We get absolutely obliterated when we lose. And the 1, 2, or 3 teams don't play in the conference championship this week. And we will be in the Gator Bowl this year at 11-1, taking on 9-3 Virginia. And for the 3rd year in a row, we win our bowl. Frank Gore becomes the school's career rushing yards leader. Players leaving, we're losing both of our running backs this year. Frank Gore, 816 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 through the air. Moss, 531 yards, 7 touchdowns, another one through the air. We're losing Jola, 725 yards, 6 touchdowns, 9 total touchdowns for Roscoe Parrish. Losing our fullback who ran for 500 yards and a touchdown and another one through the air. We're losing our starting left tackle. We're losing a starting DN. We're losing our starting outside linebacker, starting middle linebacker. We're losing 2 of our starting corners. So for the second time in 3 years, we have the top recruiting class bringing in 12 5-stars. Those include the #1 quarterback in the nation, the #1 kicker in the nation, the #1 tackle and corner in the nation. So recruiting has been going well. Part of our first recruiting class, Frankie Bright is up to a 96. Emmanuel Wesley's up to a 95. Kennard is up to a 95. So we have been bringing the talent in here. We have plenty of 90s, and I don't see why we can't be playing for a Natty. All right, so one lost season again. It was to Virginia Tech again, who's in the Big East as well. We're waiting to see if Ohio State or Oklahoma loses, but if I'm not mistaken, they didn't have conference championship games at this point. So Oklahoma could lose to Colorado, but that is our only hope, and more than likely Virginia Tech would jump over them if they were to lose, and it's all null and void because they knock off Colorado anyway. So Wesley actually wins quarterback of the year for us this year. That's dope. He's going to win the Maxwell also, but no votes for the Heisman. And we are going to be in the Rose Bowl taking on a 9-3 USC team. And that is Oklahoma versus Ohio State, the 2 undefeated squads. And I can't lie, man, I'm 100% disappointed that we're not getting it done. These are big bowls and big opportunities, man, and great seasons, but not what we want. Wesley throwing a lot of picks, 27-17. His backup Kyle Wright came in through 7 touchdowns and 1 pick. On the ground, though, is where Wesley is showing his ass. 861 yards, 6 touchdowns. Simon, 785, 7 touchdowns. Through the air, we got 2,000-yard receivers. We got Frankie Bright with 11 touchdowns, 1,200 yards, 66 grabs. Then Ryan Moore, 54 for 1,079 and 11 touchdowns as well. Defensively, Dimitri Howell leads us in tackles. Baraka Atkins leads us in sacks. And Ashanti Babcock leads us in picks. And our bowl streak continues as we beat USC in the Rose Bowl. So we're 4-0 in this game, 5-0 overall. Shout out to our guy Bright, breaking the school record for receptions in the season. He also breaks the school record for receiving yards in the season. So our guy Wesley is trying to leave for the draft. I mean, he did have an amazing season, but we need him to come back, bro. We're going to utilize all of our scouting points on that man. His parents and he both think it's best that he finishes up his degree. Oh my goodness, we need that heading into the 5th and final season. And the same thing here with Bright. I don't think you'll be mad if you come back. I've made up my mind. I'm going to stay and play for you another year. Let's go. We need that. Take a look who we do have leaving though. Ryan Moore, who was the first team All-American this year, is gone. Morse is going, our starting right tackle. We're losing Wolfschlager. We're losing Baraka Atkins. We're losing Travaris Baines. We're losing Brandon Merriweather, Greg Threat, and we're also losing John Petey. So going into the last year, 3 of the 4 off seasons, we have had the #1 recruiting class in the nation. And the product on the field proves it, but we just keep losing some unfortunate games. We got the #1 running back. We got the #1 center. We got the #1 tackle. We got a #2 receiver, punter. We got a #5 strong safety, #8 middle linebacker, #4 free safety, outside linebacker, #2 quarterback. So again, boys, we are putting talent on the field here in Miami. So this year, boys, we got 4 99s on the squad. Our quarterback, our left outside linebacker, our D tackle, and our wide receiver. All 4 of these dudes were a part of our very first recruiting class. All right, boys, so we come in preseason number 2 behind Ohio State. We're at A+ overall, A+ offense, A defense, A special teams. And come over here to the Heisman watch list. Our guy Wesley is at the top of the Heisman watch list, and he's also got Frankie Bright on there with him. And so I expect them to air the ball out. And I expect to see a lot of these two this year in their senior season. So here in the 5th and final season, we finally get back on track and win the Big East. And we're going to be the #1 team in the nation and the lone undefeated team in the top 25 right now at 12-0. And Wesley's going to win the quarterback of the year for the 2nd straight season. He's also going to win the Maxwell again. And this time he's going to walk away with the Heisman Memorial Trophy. He won this one kind of by a landslide, 218 to 128 over Lawrence Maroney. He threw for 3,800 yards. He had 47 carries for 309 yards, and he had 50 total touchdowns. And we are going to be in the Sugar Bowl for the national championship, taking on the number 3 Penn State Nittany Lions, who are 10-2. Now, it's been a minute since we've seen a BCS bowl snub because it doesn't happen anymore in real life. But 11-1, number 2 in the nation, Fresno State, is getting jumped by 10-2 Penn State because they play in the Big Ten, and it's normally got something to do with like strength or schedule. And you see here, Fresno State isn't even in the top 2 in bowl rankings. They're all the way down here at number 4. Their comp average is a 272 compared to Virginia Tech's 364, and then you got Penn State's 411. Penn State had arguably the toughest schedule in the country, where Fresno State looks like they had one of the weaker ones, and us as Miami, we were somewhere in the middle. They say Fresno State has 0 quality wins, whereas we have 1.7, Penn State has 1.4. They even say Virginia Tech has 0 because they lost to us. And take a look at the season stats here. Wesley once again throwing for 3,800 yards, 47 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions. On the ground, nobody had 500 yards, but Harrison did have 6 touchdowns. Through the air, I can't believe Frankie Bright did decide to come back for his senior season, but he just completely had a meltdown here. And I know this isn't really a part of the film, but 70 for 1,200 last year and 12 touchdowns. He comes back and just puts up 43 for 729 and 8 touchdowns. And it doesn't look like he missed any games. Ben Keith is going to be our receiver that really stepped up this year, 59 for 1082 and 11 touchdowns. Floyd Lang had 12 touchdowns as well. And Lang was also a part of that recruiting class that Frankie Bright came into. And can the Hurricanes clutch things out here in season number 5? We are simming in real time right in front of everybody. And the final score is going to be, drum roll please, Miami gets the dub, and it looks like for a split second it might have been a blowout, and they've won all 5 of their bowls here in this game. And you see here they're going to hoist that national championship trophy. Wesley broke the national record for QBR of 184.8 in the season. He breaks the school record for passing yards in the season with 4,000. He breaks the school record for passing yards in a career. And the Hurricanes win this one 52-35. They put up 14, 21, 10, 7, and Wesley, you guessed it, is going to be a player of the game. He threw for 380, had 7 carries for 24 yards, and 7 total touchdowns in this ball game. So it was cutting it close here in NCAA 2004, but in the last year, the Canes got it done. Now we are in NCAA football 2005. So we come in year 1 ranked preseason number 5. We're all A-minuses across the board, and this is our first season in the ACC. And our roster this year is looking pretty good. We got a senior Brock Berlin, and we're going to have to really go hard when it comes to recruiting for quarterbacks because I don't think Kyle Wright nor Kirby Freeman are the answer, even though at the time IRL I did. Running back, we got Frank Gore as a redshirt junior, is probably going after this year. And of course, behind him, we got Tyrone Moss, and we're going to be redshirting Charlie Jones, Bobby Washington, and Andrew Johnson. At fullback, we got Quandre Hill, we got Kyle Cobia, we got Talib Humphrey. Receiver, we got Ryan Moore, we got Roscoe Parrish, Devin Hester, Darnell Jenkins, Akeem Jola, Lance Leggett. So Norris Moss is down there. We're going to be redshirting him. We're going to be redshirting Leggett as well. At tight end, we got Kevin Everett, Buck Ortega, Mr. 7'4" crew himself, Greg Olson, Big Jersey, and we also got Curtis Justice. At tackle, we got Eric Winston. He's the lone standout. We got Rashad Butler. At guard, we got Chris Myers, Tony Tella, and Tyler McMean. At center, we got Joel Rodriguez. At DN, Thomas Carroll, Baraka Atkins, Javon Nanton, Ryan Anderson. At D-tackle, we got Ryan Harris, Antonio Thomas, Therese McCray. Outside linebacker, we got Rocky McIntosh. We got Tavares Gooden. We got Willie Williams. We got Glenn Cook. Middle linebacker, Leon Williams, James Bryant. And we got a freshman, John Beeson. Corner, Antrell Roll coming into his senior year with Kelly Jennings, Glenn Sharp, Tanar Davis, Travaris Payne, and Terrell Walden. Free safety, Brandon Merriweather, Marcus Maxey, Levon Ponder. Greg Third at strong safety with Willie Cooper. So season 1 here on NCAA 05 does not go as planned. We lose to Virginia Tech. We lose to North Carolina. We lose to Houston. and we lost the very first game of the season to bum SU. Season stats, Brock Berlin only threw for 2,300 yards, 18 touchdowns with 6 picks. On the ground, Tyrone Moss ran for 1,100 for the 11 touchdowns. Frank Gore ran for 772 with 4 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns on the ground for Cobia. Through the air, nobody went over 573. Roscoe Parrish was the #1 guy. 7 touchdowns, 32 grabs, 573 yards. Ryan Moore had 5 touchdowns on 31 grabs. Everett, 4 touchdowns on 28 grabs. Defensively, Tavares Gooden led us in tackles with 68, actually tied with Leon Williams. Thomas Carroll leads us in tackles for loss. Sacks goes to Carroll as well, and picks goes to Kelly Jennings with 4. So our bowl win streak continues here in this video. We win yet another bowl game. Now take a look at who we have leaving here, boys, and let's go ahead and sort it by overall, because that's basically by importance. Antrell Roll, bye-bye. Kevin Everett, bye-bye. Cobia, bye-bye. That's 395s and above. Saying goodbye to Chris Myers, Joel Rodriguez, Antonio Thomas, Brock Berlin, and Derek Crudup. Also, Talib Humphrey is gone. That's pretty bad, but for the most part, man, I will say that we are going to be keeping a good core of our guys. So we got a #1 middle linebacker, #1 athlete, #2 quarterback, #9 center. We almost got the #1 quarterback, but he went to UGA, which makes sense. We brought in 3 quarterbacks. In top classes in the nation, we are sitting at #9. So we got a top 10 class, 3 5-stars, 1 4-star, 7 3-stars. So take a look at the quarterback class, boys. Carlos Samples actually comes in ready to compete with Kyle Wright. Kyle Wright is going to train, but with that 84 speed, I'm thinking that we're going to start Samples. Throw power is a little bit worse. Throw accuracy is very, very a little bit worse. And I think overall, this might be the best long-term investment for the squad. Robbie Allen comes in as a 76. He's a #2 quarterback. Kirby Freeman gets jumped over by 2 freshmen. And then Nolan Cunningham comes and rounds everything out. Running back, Frank Gore comes back for his senior season. Tyrone Moss is here for his junior year. Bobby Washington, Charlie Jones, Andrew Johnson, and then Patrick Hall is who we brought in real late, the 3-star. Fullback, Quandre Hill still here. Wide receiver, Ryan Moore, Roscoe Parrish, Darnell Jenkins, Devin Hester, of course, Jola Leggett, Sonoris Moss. And we didn't bring any wide receivers in, but going into next season, we're definitely going to have to focus on that position. Tight end, we got Ortega, we got Greg Olson, we got Curtis Justice. The O-line is looking pretty solid. Guards are good. Center needs some work. D-ends are looking real good. D-tackle is looking real good. Outside linebacker, left is fire. Right needs some work. Middle linebacker, I'm not mad at it. Jonathan Beeson, hopefully he progresses the way he should, like he did in real life. At corner, we definitely need some help, but we did bring in a fresh face in Kerry McConnell. Hopefully we can bring some other people in that can really help with the positional depth. Free safety, Brandon Merriweather, Marcus Maxey still, no freshmen brought in. Same thing here with strong safety, and special teams is special teams. So actually I was wrong. I forgot about one thing. We had the #1 athlete in the nation in Derek Huff. I forgot, 91 throw power, 82 throw accuracy. I forgot he's best suited as a quarterback. And he's an athlete, but he's legit a quarterback. He legit won't be that good at anything else. He's at 80 at QB off the rip. 89 speed at that. That's actually crazy. We got a lot of decisions to make here in this quarterback room. Take a look at who had the best training. Looks like #1, looks like all the top guys just got 4 points better. So not a lot of getting better here this year, but we do have 399s. Eric Winston, Quandre Hill, Orion Harris, Thomas Carroll's a 94, Rocky McIntosh a 94, Atkins a 93. You know what I mean? So we got some 90s. We really just got to figure out who's going to be the quarterback this year. Kyle Wright gets better. Kirby Freeman gets better, but still not better than what we got. I might let Kyle Wright start here. 94 throw power, 87 throw accuracy. I think that's going to just take him over the edge of the young guys that we brought in. So ultimately, boys, we are going to redshirt our top quarterbacks, Samples and Huff, and then we're going to let them duke it out next year. I want to see like how much better they get after the offseason, but Kyle Wright came here. He's the better quarterback on paper. I want to see how he fares in his first season as a starter. We're also coming to preseason ranked at #9. So season 2 in the books, man, and we lost 3 games. It looked so good early on. Even when we lost to Wake Forest, we stayed ranked at #4. Won a bunch of more games. Then we lost to NC State, beat Arkansas, and then we lost to Virginia Tech at the end of the season. Season stats here, Kyle Wright actually played extremely well. Nearly 4,000 yards, 42 touchdowns. He did throw 20 picks. On the ground, you know what I'm saying? Nothing really to write home about there. We threw the ball a bunch. Through the air, Ryan Moore, 938 yards, 10 touchdowns. Roscoe Parrish, 43 for 956, 9 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns for Jenkins. 3 for Moss out of the backfield. Frank Gore had 7 out of the backfield. Ortega had 4. Quandra Hill had 1. Esther had 2. Greg Olsen had 2. Defensively, Leon Williams had 91 tackles, 25 for loss, leading the team with Baraka Atkins. Atkins leads us in sacks with 10, and then we didn't have anybody with over 3 picks. Kyle Wright actually finished his 3rd in the Heisman voting, so that just lets you know the type of season he had. And we're going to be in the Continental Tire Bowl in North Carolina. And our bowl win streak continues throughout this whole entire video. We've won every single one, including the national championships. Kyle Wright breaks the school record for passing yards in the season. He also breaks it for passing touchdowns in the season by 20. Ryan Moore breaks the record for receiving touchdowns in the season, and that was a hell of a year. All right, boys, so preseason is over, and oddly enough, even though we had winning records, I forgot to turn coach firing off. So we are not the coach for Miami anymore. We're the coach for Iowa, but we will continue to look in on Miami, track their stats, track their players, so forth and so on. They come in here season number 3, A-, A-, B+, A+, but the reason why I'm not quitting and starting a new one because I want to keep the integrity of the team that they have, and I feel like it'd be a waste of time and unfair, so we're going to rock out and see if they can build their own champion. I'm almost certain this is going to be one of the games we don't win it in. All right, boys, so in season number 3, Miami goes 7-4, number 18 in the nation. They lose to Florida State, North Carolina State, North Carolina, and Virginia Tech once again. It also looks like they had a 2-quarterback system here with Kyle Wright and Carlos Samples. Samples, 9 touchdowns, 9 picks, 1,000 yards. Kyle Wright, 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns, 6 picks. I'm really not sure what's going on there. Tyrone Moss did rush for 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Charlie Jones, 5 touchdowns. Through the air, Leggett is the only one who had a pretty decent season. Then again, Devin Hester had 40 catches as well, and he had 1 more touchdown on less yards. Greg Olsen, 25 for 395, 3 touchdowns. Tyrone Moss and Charlie Jones helped out of the backfield as well. And Miami keeps their bowl game streak alive, beating the brakes off of Boise State 44-10. So we got some movement here for Miami. Kerry McConnell's going to FIU. Kirby Freeman is going to go to Clemson. Bobby Washington is going to UCF. Justice, Wolfslager, Bain, Powell, McNeil, Sonoris Moss, Monroe, Brown, Gooden, Devin Hester, McMeans, Moss, and Petey are all graduating / going to the draft. So without me there, Miami has a top 30 class at number 26. No 5 stars, 2 4 stars, 10 3 stars, 6 2 stars. Yup. So in season 4, Miami's sitting at number 10 in the nation. B+, A-, B. Let's see what they can do on the field this year. So season 4, 7-4, things were going good. Surprise loss to Maryland. Win. Lose to Virginia, lose to Wake Forest, lose to Virginia Tech. 3 straight losses in a row to end the year. Still ranked in the top 25, but not anywhere near where they want to be. This year, Kyle Wright, 19 touchdowns with 9 picks, only 2,500 yards passing. Patrick Hall, who we actually recruited, almost ran for 1,009 touchdowns. Charlie Jones had 7 touchdowns with 667. No receiver over 533 yards. Leggett went crazy though. I mean, Leggett played well. Greg Olsen, 16 yards a catch, but they just weren't getting a lot of opportunities. Defensively, Chad Love led everybody in tackles by a landslide. Same thing with tackles for loss. He also leads the team in sacks. Golly. This is that 5-star middle linebacker that we brought in, and you could tell he's like that. He also had 2 picks. Willie Williams and Ashton Clemens led the team in picks with 4. So Kyle Wright breaks the school record for passing touchdowns in a career at 88, and the bowl game streak is still alive as they bump off Temple 37-20. All right, boys, so I actually had a brain fart and forgot you can create a whole new coach when it came to these games. So that's my apologies, but going into year number 5, we're still going to be trying to win a Natty. Looks like the two of the other quarterbacks we did recruit are going to be gone to start off the new year. I don't blame him. Transferring would be best for me. I thought transferring would be best for me, but I changed my mind. So that means he's leaving. It looks like actually looks like he's staying. And I'm going to try here with Cunningham, but he's probably going as well. I don't know if I'll hang around for another year or not. I'm pretty sure last dude said he was staying. Not enough points to persuade him. Let's go to use all 50. Need more time. We don't have more time. So he's going. Kyle Wright is going. Greg Olsen leaves as a 99 overall. Bain, Williams, Franklin, Potter, McCray. I mean, a lot of dogs are leaving the school. So here, now that we were back behind the wheel recruiting again, take a look at where we fall on signing day. And we still got a top 30 class. It's not the greatest, but we do get 3 5-stars. Signings include the number 3 middle linebacker, number 1 D tackle, and the number 2 DN. So Miami comes in preseason number 15. And I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't look like this team's going to be that great. Take a look at the depth chart. Huff is actually going to end up being the quarterback over Carlos Samples. Charlie Jones is running back number 1. Wide receivers, we still got Lance Leggett, Demetrius Moss, Amos Pickett. Not really a lot of substance there. Tight end, we lost all the dogs we had. The O-line needs some work. The D-line looks halfway decent if you're just being real. Let's go ahead and put Moncure over Williams though to start. Boom, boom. Linebacker looks solid. Maybe we'll put Young there if we can. We can't. Right outside linebacker is what it is. Corner needs some help. Yeah, we had some setbacks with this squad, and it shows. And you know what I'm saying? You can't win them all sometimes. So at the end of season number 5, our boys got life. They win the ACC chip, and they do have one loss. They could have been number 1 or 2 in the nation, but they lost to, I believe they were number 8 at the time, NC State, who's number 5. Take a look at the conference championships here. If Texas loses to Kansas State, we're in. But then again, if Texas beats Kansas State, we should be in as well. So I was going to say it looked like we had a 2-quarterback system, but Derek Huff went down. But these guys literally have the same exact passing yards. Samples had to throw a little more passes to get it done, but he got it done. 18 touchdowns to 8 picks, 23 touchdowns to 7 picks. And even when Allen had to come into the game, 8 touchdowns to 3 picks. I mean, the quarterback room is fairly good, dare I say. And on the ground, you know what I'm saying? Charlie Jones, 409 touchdown. Hole has 3 touchdowns. We got 2 900-yard receivers. You feel me? Leggett and Moss. Jones has 6 touchdowns. Pickett has the most touchdowns with 11. So I was wrong. We have 3 900-yard receivers. And basically, after one more game, we should have a bunch of 1,000-yard receivers. So it makes sense why we lost to NC State. They got the Heisman winner running back, Darnell Blackman, a senior with almost 3,500 yards all-purpose and 24 touchdowns. And we get into the Natty, which means Texas beat Kansas State. And it's a rivalry game taking on Florida State. Take a look at the conference championship. Yes, Texas did beat Kansas State. Texas was number 4. Kansas State was number 1. But with Texas's 2 losses, they do not get into the Natty with that record. Florida beat Mississippi State. Marshall beat Western Michigan. And the table is set here, boys. Can the Cardiac Canes get it done again in season number 5? All right, boys, here we go. Real-time sim of the Natty. Do we get it done here in the Cardiac? We do. 24-12 is going to be your final score. Let's go. 395 yards of total offense out there today. 338 passing. Huff and so we run a legit 2-quarterback system. Huff threw 2 picks and a touchdown. Samples threw 2 touchdowns. Their quarterback threw 5 interceptions. That's crazy. Defense went nuts. That's how we won the game. Leggett 6 for 160, a touchdown for Jones, a touchdown for Moss, and 5 different players caught all 5 picks in the dub. And for the second straight game, the Canes get it done in the 5th and final season. All right, boys. So in the first season here, we are ranked preseason number 11, A-BAA. Take a look at our roster. Kyle Wright is back as a sophomore. We still got Kirby Freeman, Tyrone Moss, Charlie Jones, Darren Thomas, Andrew Johnson. All right, boys. So season 1 here on 06. We got 2 losses, 9-12. We lost to Virginia Tech by 3, and we lost to Florida State the first game of the season. It was bad, but we got a chance to play Florida State again here in the ACC chip. Let's go ahead and simulate through this week, and we lose again by 3, 31-28. 9-3 is going to be how we end this season. Our quarterback, Kyle Wright, is going to win quarterback of the year. Didn't expect that. He's also going to win the Maxwell. And we're going to be in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta taking on a 6-5 Penn State team. Kyle Wright ends up finishing 2nd for the Heisman, but it was never a comp. It was a landslide. Jared Zabransky won that shit easily. 507 first place votes. Next closest was Kyle Wright with 90. All right, boys, can we keep our bowl streak alive here versus Penn State? And we actually lose our first bowl game of this sim. 2013 is going to be the final score. 9-4 in the first season here, boys. I mean, definitely something to build upon because we don't even have a lot of seniors on the team. Kyle Wright played terribly. All right, so Kyle Wright breaks the school record for passing yards in the season. He's also going to break the school record for passing touchdowns in the season. Ryan Moore, same thing with receptions in the season, yards in the season, touchdowns in the season. So Kyle Wright threw for 4,400 yards, 46 touchdowns, 6 picks. Charlie Jones led us in rushing, three touchdowns, 531 yards. 2,000-yard receivers, Ryan Moore with 1,300, Leggett with 1,100. 15 touchdowns for Moore, as we saw, 6 for Leggett. Sonoris Moss had 10. Greg Olsen had 5, Devin Hester had 5, Charlie Jones had 4. Defensively, Rocky McIntosh led us in tackles. He led us in tackles for loss. Todd leading us in sacks with Brian Potter. Kelly Jennings led us in picks with 3. All right, so players leaving. Naturally, Kyle Wright is trying to go to the draft, man, but we got to try to talk this young man in this thing. He's coming back for another year. We need that. Brian Potter, he had a great year too, but I'm trying to get you to come back. He still hasn't made up his mind. Ryan Moore is probably good as going. I'm not even going to hold you. He didn't feel like he was ready for the next level. Okay. And then now we just got, can we go in the negative to try to bring Potter back? No, we cannot. We got 15 points to talk to him. He said he feels like he still needs another year. So that is a plus. Take a look at who we're losing. Eric Winston, Quandrine Hill, Ryan Harris, Rocky McIntosh, Greg Threat, Thomas Carroll, Kelly Jennings, McMeans, Leon Williams, Rashad Butler, Tony Teller, Sonoris Malls, Buck Ortega. We losing some guys, bro. All right, boys, take a look at the recruiting class this year. We got the number 2 class, 3 5-stars, 11 4-stars, 7 3-stars, and a 2-star. We got mad quarterbacks though, and that was nowhere near on purpose, bro. Coming in this season, number 2, Kyle Wright still gonna be a starter, Kirby Freeman behind him, but our true freshman Adam Davis is gonna be coming soon. Tyrone Moss starting running back. We got Ryan Moore coming back, Lance Leggett, Akeem Jola, Greg Olsen back for his redshirt junior year. Left tackle needs some work though. Let's go ahead and put Wims in there, the backup right tackle. Have the best players as possible. Left end looking good, right end looking good, D tackles looking good. This team, linebackers looking good. This team is crazy though. Let's put Jonathan Beeson, let him be the starter middle linebacker. Boom, and then we're gonna put, not Williams, but we're gonna put Gooden in over Davis. Cornerback, we got Devin Hester over there, feel me? And he's playing both sides of the ball. We did this last year as well. Devin Hester will be playing both sides of the ball, scoring touchdowns and all that. All right, preseason, we come in ranked top 15 and number 14. We're better on paper. A, B+, A+, A+. I like it. Kyle Wright right now is second in the Heisman watch list behind Chris Lee. All right, boys, so we're in a perfect situation right now. 11-0. I don't think we've been undefeated yet in this sim. Going up against number 4 NC State in the ACC chip. We win and we're in. The ball is in our court. Nothing else stands in our way except for us. All right, boys, so we get the win here, 39-17. Absolute, dog pile of a game. 445 yards of total offense, 407 with 5 touchdowns, no picks for Kyle Wright. This is the type of performance we want to see. We win the ACC chip, added to the book. Ryan Moore came back and made the most of it. He wins the receiver of the year. Kyle Wright wins back-to-back quarterback of the year, back-to-back Maxwell Award winner, and we are in the Natty taking on Florida. This is 3 out of 4 Natties where we played a rival for the national championship. It might even be 4 out of 4. It's kind of crazy. All right, boys. So Ryan Moore is up for the Heisman this year. Kyle Wright is up for the Heisman this year as well. Chris Leak, who we're going up against in the Natty, is up for the Heisman. And Garrett Wolf from NIU, senior running back. Shout out to him. It's got to be Kyle Wright, right? Oh my goodness, they gave it to Garrett Wolf. Ain't no way he won that, bro. What a tight race. 258 first place votes to our 251. Oh my goodness. Ryan Moore finishes 3rd, and Kyle Wright had a way better season than that, bro. 28 total touchdowns, 1,900 rushing yards. That ain't even nothing crazy. So like I said, we already went over his stats, but 4,900 yards, 54 total touchdowns, 127 catches, 2,000 yards, 18 touchdowns. You mean to tell me that is better than what they did in the season, and 2, what they just did in their last games? No way this dude wins it over our guys, but we're playing for something bigger, and that's a Natty. And we get the job done here. 31-21 is going to be your final score. The Canes have done it, 13-0, a perfect season, 486 yards of total offense. Kyle Wright outdueled Chris Leak, even though he threw 3 picks. 469 yards, 3 touchdowns. So we talked Kyle Wright and Ryan Moore into coming back for one more season, and it worked out. Moore was kind of held at bay here in the Natty, but Jala went crazy. Devin Hester had 3 catches for big plays. Jala had 2 touchdowns. Moss had a touchdown, 3 catches for 95 yards. And we are Fiesta Bowl champions, and the streak is up again as we win our bowl game. You see it, Natty champs added to the bank. And NCAA 06 only takes 2 seasons, and we're moving on to the next game. All right, boys, so next up we're here with NCAA 07. So coming in again, same 2 quarterbacks, Kyle Wright, Kirby Freeman. We know the vibes. Tyrone Moss is our running back once again, his senior season. All right, boys, first season, not too bad. Tough losses. We lost to number 2 Virginia Tech, and we also lost to number 3 Louisville, so we lost to some good ass teams. At 10-2, we're going to be facing a 9-3 LSU team in the Chick-fil-A Bowl up in Atlanta. And Kyle Wright finishes top 5 in Heisman voting, but he loses to a junior Adrian Peterson. He ran for 2,100 yards, 24 touchdowns, another 3 through the air. Chris Leak finished second. James from Boise State finished third. Drew Tate from Iowa finished fourth. And the voting was pretty even all across the board. Like, the voters didn't know who they really wanted to pick. So we got our little streak going again, man. We won another bowl game. So players wanting to leave. John Beeson's wanting to go to the draft. We got to try to talk him into staying, I would think. He bring us some good points, but I still haven't made up my mind. He gonna make us use a lot of points on him. He's coming back to win and to win a championship and have fun. We got Williams trying to leave for Troy. It's a toss up right now. We only got 3 points left. I mean, so we can't really say too much to my man. So it looks like he's going to go, and then Bruce Johnson is going to FIU. That's tough on both accords. Other than transfers, Atkins, Merriweather, Wolfschlager, Tyrone Moss, Kareem Brown, Potter, Ryan Moore. These are all players that are leaving. Ryan Moore had a hell of a year this year too. 92 catches, 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. All right, so going over the stats though for the end of the year number 1 here on NCAA 07. Kyle Wright, 4,000 yards, 41 touchdowns, 13 picks. Not bad. On the ground, Moss, 8 touchdowns. Charlie Jones, 7. Receiving wise, Ryan Moore, we went over his stats. Jenkins had 61 for 653, 8 touchdowns, 9 for Moore. Leggett, 61 for 637, 6 touchdowns for Khalil Jones, 7 touchdowns for Greg Olsen, 5 for Charlie Jones. We were slinging the thing all over the field today, dog. All right, boys, so in season number 2, we got another top 5 class for number 3. We got 3 5-stars, 8 4-stars, 10 3-stars, a 2-star and a 1-star. Not really sure how the 1-star sign or the 2-stars because I ain't go after them. Our signings include number 1 center, number 1 kicker, number 2 kicker, number 6 QB, number 5 receiver, number 5 QB. I mean, number 5 athlete, number 2 receiver. Again, boys, we're just bringing in a plethora of talent. Take a look at how we train, boys. Looks like McCarthy is going to be the most improved. He goes up +6 to a 74. But we got some dogs, 96, 96, 96, 95, 94, 93, 91, 91, 91, 90. So we got quite a few 90s on the squad this year. So the depth chart coming in, man. Kyle Wright's a 94. Right behind him, Kirby Freeman's a 93. So we're in good hands there. Charlie Jones is a 90. Our fullbacks are 89. Wide receivers 91, 87, 84. Tight end, of course, Greg Olsen 95. The O-line is actually looking masterful. This is one of the best O-lines we had. D-lines too. Linebackers are looking good. It just pains me, man, to know that we didn't really play for or win anything IRL with so much talent. Per ESPN, the magazine, we're coming in preseason ranked number 3. We're A+ overall, A offense, A+ defense. Kyle Wright is back on the Heisman watch list. This time he's leading the way. End of the regular season, boys, and we lose 3 games this year. We're number 14 in the nation. We lose to Virginia Tech, we lose to Florida State, and we lost to Oklahoma earlier in the season. Kyle Wright had a hell of a season though. 4,100 yards, 43 touchdowns, just 16 picks, 62% completion percentage. On the ground, Charlie Jones had 2 touchdowns through the air. Leggett led us 82 grabs, 974 yards, 12 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns for Khalil Jones, 3 for Shields, 5 for Walden, 8 for Charlie Jones out of the backfield, 6 for Greg Olsen at the tight end position. Defensively, John Beeson led us in tackles, Calais Campbell led us in tackles for loss, Calais Campbell led us in sacks, and Tavares Gooden leads us in picks before. All right, boys, so we do make it to a BCS bowl game. We're in the Sugar Bowl taking on a 12-1 LSU with Jamarcus Russell. And Jamarcus Russell was actually going to be this season's Heisman winner. He was in the conference championship game, and he was in second when that happened, and he went ahead and won. Kyle Wright does finish top 5. He gets 83 first place votes. He had the best season of any quarterback in the country, but his record wasn't the greatest. And Kyle Wright is actually going to outduel Jamarcus Russell here. We win 38-22. We've had games like this all year where we look really good, but in the games we lose, we really, really lose. Jamarcus Russell threw 3 picks. Kyle Wright threw 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, 324 yards. Our backup even came in and threw a touchdown pass as well. And we had 2 receivers go absolutely crazy. Sam Shields, 5 for 144, 2 touchdowns. Khalil Jones, 13 for 175, 2 touchdowns. So our bowl win streak is back up to 3 games here, but we trying to play for something deeper than this. Kyle Wright breaks the school record for passing touchdowns in a season. Kyle Wright broke the school record for passing yards in a season. Now he breaks the record for passing touchdowns in a season. So Calais Campbell's trying to leave early, and we're going to try to block that as much as possible. I just didn't feel I was ready for the next level. Me neither, big dog. Me neither. Take a look at who we do have leaving, though. John Beeson, Therese McCray, Greg Olsen, Kyle Wright, Lance Leggett, Charlie Jones, Willie Cooper, Romeo Davis, Tavares Gooden, Derek Morse, Glenn Cook, Tyron Williams, Andrew Bain, Terrell. I mean, we got some dogs leaving us. So going into season 3, we have a top 10 class at number 10, 4 5-stars, 7 4-stars, 4 3-stars, a 2 and a 1. Our quarterback room is crazy large, bro. We got Kirby Freeman, of course, right? He's going to be our starter this year. We got the number 1 quarterback in the nation, and Brad Porter. He's going to be the starter after that. We also brought in CJ Gallagher, Jeremy Neal, Bobby Brown was here, Marquise Allen was here. We brought in Lewis Cross, Brian Porter, Steve Johnson. The running back room looks real good. Darren Thomas is going to train in the offseason. So is Colin Robinson, Andrew Johnson, and them boys. Receiver, Khalil Jones should be a 90-something. Sam Shields could even be a 90. You never know. Nick Pettaway. We weren't able to get anybody in the recruiting class at wide receiver, so we want to go hard there. Tight end, Chris Zellner has big shoes to fill with Greg Olsen going to the league. Reggie Youngblood at tackle, at left tackle, right tackle, Tyrone Bird. At guard, AJ Trump, Dennis Washington. Center, we got Andrew Clark. DN, Calais Campbell came back for his senior season. Monker is back for his senior season, but even when they leave, we're in good hands with Courtney Harris, but we got to bring some more ends in. D tackle, we're a little old. We got to bring some players in. Spencer Atkins over at outside linebacker. James Bryant, Randy Phillips. We got Carlos Armour. We got Rashawn Jones. We were able to bring in 2 freshmen, Andre Jones and Scott Hawkins, who are going to be immediate contributors. Free safety, Anthony Reddick. Strong safety, Kenny Phillips. And we brought in 2 freshmen in John Abrams and Peter Witherspoon. All right, season 3 roster looking good. Kirby Freeman is a 98. We got 94 and 90 overall running back. Fullbacks a 93, wide receivers 2 90s and an 84. Tight end, he got a 91. Left tackle 94, left guard 92, center 91, right guard 84, right tackle 92, left end 88, 93 right in. D tackles are 85 pluses. Left outside linebacker, we're gonna put Sharpton in over Moore for sure. We want our best players on the field at all time. That's what it should look like. Corner is actually pretty decent. I'm not mad at it. Free safety is Dog. Strong safety, the low 99 on the team, Kenny Phillips. All right, boys, so the season has come to an end, and we have won the ACC chip, and we're 13-0, perfect here in season number 3. All right, so we win punter of the year with Harmon. We win the Thorpe Award with Phillips. We win tight end of the year with Zellner. We win receiver of the year with Khalil Jones. Quarterback of the year with Kirby Freeman. And we will be in the Natty versus Oklahoma. And I thought Kirby Freeman was going to be the person to win it, but Khalil Jones is this season's Heisman winner. I don't think we've seen many receivers win it, the times we won it or when the computer wins it in these older games. Khalil Jones beats his teammate out, Kirby Freeman, 368 to 274 in first place votes. 111 catches, 1,700 yards, 23 receiving touchdowns. That's insane. So Freeman threw for 4,600 yards, 58 touchdowns, 13 picks, 357 a game. With that, we didn't run the ball much, but Darren Thomas, 5 touchdowns. Colin Robinson, 4 touchdowns, 2 for Freeman, 1 for Andrew Johnson. Receiving wise, we already went over Khalil Jones' stats. Sam Shields with a season, 78 for 982, 14 touchdowns, 5 for Petway, 4 for Davis, 7 for Darren Thomas out of the backfield. Our tight end Zellner has 6 touchdowns as well. Defensively, Sharpton led us in tackles with 73, 26 tackles for loss, Chaz Washington, 9 sacks for Chaz Washington, and 7 picks caught by Daryl Sharpton. All right, boys, you know what time it is. Number 2 team in the nation, the Oklahoma Sooners. Let's go. Can the Hurricanes get the job done? All right, boys, we get the job done. 28-16 is your final score in this one. We had 462 yards of total offense. Kirby Freeman threw for 443, 3 touchdowns. He did throw 3 picks, but it was still enough to outdo. DeMarco Murray killed us 25 for 142. We don't run the ball much. You know the vibes there. 7 for 126 for Shields and Jones, 3 touchdowns between the two. Thomas had 73 yards out of the backfield, 64 for Davis. Season number 3 and yet another game, and now we're officially moving on to the PS3. All right, boys, here we are now in NCAA football 08, and this is where the rebuilds, I believe, are going to start to get the hardest because we didn't have the greatest of teams in these PS3 games. Take a look at this team. Kenny Phillips is a 97, Calais Campbell 96. We got Glenn Sharp, we got Randy Phillips, Anthony Reddick, Therese McCray, Jarvis James. Let's go by position. So Kyle Wright is still here. Kirby Freeman is here. Both of them kind of regressed opposed to what they were in 07. Robert Marv is here to take over, but we're going to try to bring in our own Ja'Cory Harris. Like I said, Jarvis James, Greg Cooper is a freshman. Charlie Jones regresses a little bit. So we still got Lance Leggett as a senior. We got Darnell Jenkins, Sam Shields, of course. We got Kane Farquharson. We got Ryan Hill. We got a freshman, Leonard Hankerson. That's love. I love to see it. We got Dodge Leon Fair, Dedrick Epps. Zellner still here. Left tackle is good. Left guard's good. Center's good. Right guard's good. Right tackle's good. Left end, we got Monker. Right end, of course, we got Calais Campbell. D tackle, McCray and Dixon. We got some dogs there. We got Romeo Davis at left outside linebacker, good in there, spelling him as well. So we need to go crazy on linebackers, actually. We got Daryl Sharpton, Glenn Cook, Colin McCarthy, Atkins spelling him. At corner, Sharp, Phillips, Grant, Johnson, Armour, Wiggins, Van Dyke. Free safety got Reddick and Ponder. Strong safety, we got Phillips and we got Willie Cooper as well. The key is going to be like keeping people like Calais Campbell and Kenny Phillips and all them boys here, you know, for at least 2 seasons. So season 1 doesn't really go as planned. We go 8-3 as a whole, but we do find ourselves in the ACC championship taking on Boston College, who we just beat towards the end of the season. They were 11-0. We gave them their only loss so far this season. All right, boys, and we beat Boston College back to back, 35-28 in this one. We are ACC champs season number 1, and I'm just realizing this is a Matt Ryan led team that we beat and caught 3 picks on as well. Kirby Freeman played his butt off, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. And through the air, we had 200-yard receivers. Leggett got in the end zone, James Farquharson, and so did Sam Shields with his 1 catch. So rest in peace, Colt Brennan does win the Heisman this year. And we got Florida in the Orange Bowl. This is the most Florida of Florida games you can have in bowl season. And we get the win. We are Orange Bowl champs. We continue the streak of bowl wins, 42-26. We could have easily been in the run for the Natty, man. Georgia Tech lost hurt. Florida State lost hurt bad. And then we lost to Oklahoma by a lot in the beginning of the season. So Lance Leggett breaks the school record for receptions in the season by a landslide. He also breaks the school record for receiving yards in the season. Players leaving. Let's take a look here. So we got 3 players trying to go to the draft early. Daryl Sharpton, Eric Monker, Calais Campbell, Kenny Phillips. Like I said, man, our goal is to try to get these boys to stay here as long as possible. So we get Kenny Phillips to stay. Let's go. Calais Campbell, I need more of the same. Let's see. He's staying. Calais Campbell is staying. What about Monker? Can we get him to stay? He's going to stay. Let's go. We need that leadership. Lastly, Daryl Sharpton. He's going to hang around another year. So he's a redshirt sophomore. So he could be going in his junior season, bro. But these other 3 guys will be seniors next year. With that, we're saying goodbye to Jenkins, Cooper, Morris, Sharp, McCray, Jones, Franklin, Bain, Gooden, Kyle Wright, who actually looks like didn't get the start this year. He didn't get the job. We gave it to Kirby Freeman. No, that's a lie. It looks like he got injured, actually, and that's why Kirby Freeman was in that game. He didn't play that bad. Leggett is going as well. So top classes after year 1, we are top 10 with number 9. No 5 stars, but 10 4 stars, 5 3 stars, 7 2 stars. Kirby Freeman is our starter at quarterback. Running back Jarvis James is back. Wide receiver core is looking pretty good. Shields, Farquharson, Ryan Hill, Khalil Jones. Tight end, we got 94 overall Farr. Left tackle looks good. Left guards are 89. Center 83, right guard 88, right tackle's a 93, left end Monker's a 92. We brought him back. Calais Campbell is now a 99, bringing him back. D tackle, we got Dixon, Atkins out left outside linebacker, Sharpton and Bailey at middle linebacker. Right outside linebacker, we got Colin McCarthy. Cornerbacks 93, 92, 85, 84. I like that a lot. Free safety, we got Reddick back. Strong safety, Kenny Phillips is also a 99. All right, boys, so a complete 180 on what happened last year, right? We're 11-1, back in the ACC chip. So we need Alabama to beat Tennessee, and then we have to beat Florida State, and then we have to hope and pray we can get into the Natty. All right, so Alabama beats Tennessee 45-10, and we get the dub versus Florida State. So we just have to hope and pray now. As number 4 beating number 5, 46-42. Kirby Freeman, 461, 6 touchdowns is insane. Through the air, Sam Shields 10 for 125, 2 tubs. Jarvis James 4 for 97, 2 touchdowns. A touchdown for Khalil Jones as well. And Kirby Freeman is going to be this season's Heisman winner. He beat out Xavier Lee. Looks like the conference championship game is how we won. Sam Shields got some first place votes as well. So we do move up to number 3, but not enough. We're going to be in the Orange Bowl. That is not the Natty. But of course, Kirby Freeman won the Heisman. He won the Maxwell. He won the Davey O'Brien. Dixon won the Lombardi. So Kirby Freeman breaks his own record for passing touchdowns in a season with 66. He breaks his own record for passing yards in a season with 5,200. He breaks the school record for passing touchdowns in a career. Sam Shields breaks the record that was set last year by Leggett for receptions in a season by 10. Farquharson breaks the school record for receiving yards in a season. Shields breaks the record for receiving touchdowns in a season. And take a look at our record, 12-2. We lost our bowl game, so our streak stops again. And we're, it looks like we got 3 guys trying to leave early. Sam Shields is one of them. We definitely need him to stay. Even though he just broke crazy records, he's going to come back next year. Same thing here with Jarvis James. We need you to come back. His education is important. And then we got our man Darren Sharpton, who's trying to leave again. And he thinks it's best for him to stay in school. I can't believe we made that work. But we're saying goodbye to Khalil Jones, Atkins, Youngblood, Phillips, Dixon, Hendricks, Reddick, Ponder, Thomas, Daly, Monker, Phillips, Johnson, Kirby Freeman, Armour, Calais Campbell. I mean, we're losing some dogs, bro. But you know what I mean? Hell of a season from a lot of these boys. All right, boys. So this season went extremely well. We ended up going with one of our true freshmen to start for us. 12-0, taking on a 9-3 NC State in the ACC chip. We also sit at #1 in the nation, and we get the win 27-7, and we are back-to-back ACC champs, if I'm not mistaken. Back-to-back-to-back. We won it 3 years in a row. And before we move to week, man, our true freshman threw for 5,600 yards, 50 touchdowns, 16 picks. On the ground, Greg Cooper gave us 9 touchdowns. Jarvis James came back, but he didn't have the greatest production on the ground. Sam Shields, 108 catches, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns. Ryan Hill, 83 catches, 1,163 yards, 16 touchdowns. Derek Epps, 50 for 965, 11 touchdowns. Cooper had 6 on the ground. McKenzie had 4 on the ground. These boys was just playing crazy out of their mind. And our true freshman Long just misses out on winning a Heisman, bro. They do not like giving the Heisman to true freshmen in these games. He got a good, significant amount of first place votes. Sam Shields got some votes as well. And honestly, his season was better than what Chevin Walker did. Him and Cam Newton was balling out this year. We do get the BCS National Championship bid taking on West Virginia, who was just in the Natty last year versus USC, but they got blown out. We also win the Maxwell. We also win the Davey O'Brien. We also win the Bolitnikov, aka the Receiver of the Year. We win the Tight End of the Year with Epps. And just so we're clear, we played that Florida team with that running back. He did kill us. I thought we stopped him, but he did kill us, 22 for 128, but we kept him out in the end zone. All right, boys, so we end up getting the win here versus West Virginia. 42-37 is going to be your final score. What a game. We have 413 yards of total offense. They did outrush us by a bunch, but we outthrew them by a lot as well. Our true freshman Long, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, 401 yards. Through the air, Sam Shields, 11 for 227 and a touchdown, 5 for 81. 4 for 14 and 2 touchdowns here, 1 for 39 and a touchdown for Greg Cooper. So we won another Natty here in NCAA 08, moving on to 09. All right, boys, here we are, NCAA 09, Matt Ryan on the cover. Let's get it. All right, boys, so season 1, Robert Marvis set out to be our starter. Ja'Cory Harris ended up being a starter IRL. I might just let him start and build what we're doing from there. He's not that much better than Ja'Cory Harris, to be honest with you, and Ja'Cory Harris is my guy, and that's who I think I want to make a 4-year starter, or I just could we got Craig Cooper, Jarvis James, we got Pat Hill, Sam Shields, Farquharson, Hankerson, Ardarius Johnson, we got Dedrick Epps back, we got Zellner back. Going over the O-line, I'm not going to read everybody's name, man. Like I said, a lot of the names that we've been used to seeing. Calais Campbell is going, though. Got McCarthy at linebacker, we got Glenn Cook, we got Daryl Sharpton still, DeMarcus Van Wake at corner, Bruce Johnson, Carlos Armour, Chavez Grant, Levon Ponder with Anthony Reddick, Randy Phillips. I mean, come on, we've been here before. So for the first time in this whole entire sim, boys, we aren't even bowl eligible. 5-7, 4-4 in conference. That's bad. At least we did win our last 2 games. Season stats, Marv did start, but we ended up going with Ja'Cory Harris. He just played a little bit better in the games that he played in. He ended the season on a hot streak. 58% completion percentage to Marv, 61. So Marv's probably going to transfer. Cooper, you know, we don't run the ball a lot in our scheme. Sam Shields was having an amazing season, bro, until he got hurt. 103 yards a game is what he was averaging, bro. But Farquharson stepped up in his place. 836 yards, 10 touchdowns on 70 grabs. Defensively, McCarthy led us in tackles. Monker led us in tackles for losses and sacks. Fix went to Van Dyke. Farquharson broke a school record for receptions in the season. So take a look at players leaving after that shitty season. So it looks like Marv is going to stay. He's not transferring. We're losing some starters. We're losing some dogs, but all in all, man, none of them really equated to us having some wins. All right, heading into season 2, we got a top 20 class, nothing crazy. 2 5-stars, 3 4-stars, 4 3-stars, but 10 2-stars. They just kind of all signed here. I did not recruit them. So to start season 2, we start right outside of the top 25 at 26. Ja'Cory Harris is going to get the nod again over Marv. He's already caught up to him. He's an 83. Marv is a preseason All-American, but we're good off that. We got Craig Cooper at running back, spelled by Jarvis James. Patrick Hill still there. Sam Shields at 89 now. Hopefully he can stay healthy with Hankerson, Johnson, and McKenzie. All in all, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 90s on the team this season. So like I told you guys in the beginning of the video, some of these newer games when we weren't as good as we were back then are going to be extremely hard to win in. We go under 500 again. We actually get worse and lose an extra game. Ja'Cory Harris has a starter through for 3,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 8 picks. So he did the damn thing. Sam Shields, hell of a year, 81 catches, 887 yards, 11 touchdowns. McKenzie, 800 yards, 7 touchdowns, 6 for Jarvis James. I mean, we were slinging the Brock all over the place. Ja'Cory Harris broke a school record for passing yards in the season. He also broke the school record for passing touchdowns in the season. Sam Shields broke a record we just set last year for receptions in the season. Take a look at players leaving here. As expected, Robert Marv is opting to transfer. You know what I mean? We're not even going to try to talk him in the stand because he deserves that option to do that. We're losing Shields, Sharpton, McCarthy, Trump, Grant, Joseph, Washington, Hill, James, Fox, Harris, Epps. I mean, it's getting bad. So we finished top 15 in recruiting at number 14, 7 4-stars, 10 3-stars, 5-2. Coming in this year, we are down to a 3-star school after 2 losing seasons. Can we bounce back? They got us finished in 9th in the ACC. Hopefully we can play a little bit better than that. All right, boys. So this team is the can't get right Hurricanes, 4-8 again. Ja'Cory Harris got hurt this year. He wasn't even playing the greatest before he did. Taylor Cook came in and actually didn't play half bad. We ran the ball a lot more this year. Craig Cooper, 760 yards, 10 touchdowns. Receiving wise, McKenzie went crazy, 80 for 915, 11 touchdowns. Johnson chipped in, Nichols chipped in, but something's missing. All right, boys, so we actually got fired again. I think this happened 2 or 3 games ago, but I don't see anywhere to create a new coach. So we're going to be on the outside looking in on Miami, but they have a top 20 recruiting class, 2 5-stars, 3 4-stars, 8 3-stars, 7 2-stars. So for the senior season, Ja'Cory is a 91. Running back, they got Damian Berry. He's going to be an 85. Fullback, Luke Johnson. Who cares? Darius Johnson is the leader at receiver, followed by Steve Nichols, Tommy Streeter, Cole Smith. Tight end is going to be J.R. Lewis. I mean, you look at this team, bro. They probably going to go 4-8, 3-9, something like that again. They're not good, and especially with me not actually recruiting, I'm not sure what's going to happen for them. All right, man, so this is the best season yet. Season number 4, the Hurricanes go 7-5, 4-4. Shout out to them. They're going to actually make a bowl game. All right, boys, and the Hurricanes actually get something going. Maybe I was the issue, right? They win their bowl game, so they're going to finish off the season 8-5. Ja'Cory, 18 for 21, 273, 2 touchdowns. On the ground, nothing really doing. Nichols, 10 for 141, 3 for 100 for Chambers with 2 touchdowns and a touchdown for Darius Johnson. End of the season stats, Ja'Cory threw for nearly 3,200, 26 touchdowns, 14 picks. Cook was killing it off the bench, 10 touchdowns, 1 pick. On the ground, Berry ran for 570, 8 tubs. Chambers had 5 tubs. Darius, 86 for 1,118 yards, 9 touchdowns for Nichols, 5 for Streeter, 4 for Smith, 6 for Chambers, 2 for Berry. So for the 5th and final season, Miami comes in ranked in the top 25, but they're B, B-, B+, B- across the board. And there's a lot of teams in the country that are better than them, but we'll see what they do here in season number 5. All right, boys. So the verdict is in the 5th and final season, right back to being under 500, 5-7, 3-5. Embarrassing losses here to ranked opponents, bro. Embarrassing losses. At 1.5 losses in a row. 4 out of 5 of them were to ranked opponents, and they were all blowouts. Let's go over the stats real quick, man. Both quarterbacks played. I mean, nothing really great there. Running the ball, 777 for Brian Walker. Steven Nichols had a great season, 101, 1,115 yards, just 4 touchdowns though. Not really finding the end zone a whole bunch. And defensively, 97 tackles. That's dope. 25 for loss, 11 sacks, only 3 picks. So they weren't scoring a lot of points. They weren't getting a lot of stops. They weren't creating a lot of turnovers. And this is going to be the very first game we were unable to rebuild the Hurricanes. All right, boys, here with one of my personal favorites, NCAA Football 10. And the base Hurricanes are going to be B+, B+, A-, B+. All right, boys, so a lot of the same faces, duh. Ja'Cory Harris is now a sophomore and an 87 overall. Our running back, Greg Cooper, is going to be a 90. Jarvis James is an 88. Fullback, we got Patrick Hill. Receiver, we got Darius Johnson, Travis Benjamin, Theron Collier, LaRon Bird, Tommy Streeter, Leonard Hankerson, Davon Johnson. Dedrick Epps is going to be at tight end with Richard Gordon. Left tackle, 93, 88, 86, 90, 87. That's going to be our O-line. 85, Monker, Robinson, Joseph Fortson. We got McCarthy back. Sharpton back, Sean Spence, my guy, and Dyke, Grant, Harris, McGee, Sam Shields has officially moved to the other side of the ball. And I wonder if I could play him at receiver at all. And we got Ryan Hill and a freshman, Ray Armstrong. So they only got Sam Shields as a 79 overall receiver, so we're actually going to leave him where he is on the defensive side of the ball. All right, so picking him right where we left off in 09, 5-7 in season number 1, disgusting. So Ja'Cory threw for 3,300 yards, 25 touchdowns, 22 picks, ew. On the ground, nothing really crazy. Ja'Cory had 5 touchdowns. Darius Johnson had a great season, 8 touchdowns. I'm not going to read everything anymore. O-line, you know, probably needs some work. McCarthy led us in tackles again. Monker tackles for loss. Fortson led us in sacks. Ryan Hill has 4 picks. In brighter news, Darius Johnson breaks the school record for receptions in the season. So players leave. It looks like everybody that's going to be leaving is going to be graduating. Nobody's trying to leave early. Nobody's trying to transfer. That's a plus. Season 2 loading. Ja'Cory Harris is a 92 overall. The kid is looking good. Greg Cooper looking well as a 93. 94, 94, 94 at receiver. I mean, there's no reason for us to not perform this year. Looking at the offense alone, and the defense is solid as well, bro. Like, we are just underachieving. All right, boys, so what a turnaround here in season number 2. 12-0, number 2 in the nation. Definitely didn't see this coming. We've had some tough games out here. We beat Ohio State. We beat Georgia Tech. Florida State was ranked when we played them. Clemson, North Carolina was ranked. Virginia Tech. As you can see, we had a lot of close games. We had a lot of blowouts, but we will be in the ACC chip. And the ACC chip will be against an 8-4, 5-3 Clemson. And we get the win, ACC champs, baby. Let's do it. We finished third in the Heisman without Darius Johnson. We will be in the BCS National Championship against Notre Dame. Catholics versus Convicts 2.0. All right, so Spence gets linebacker of the year. Darius Johnson gets returner of the year, and we win coach of the year. All right, boys, and the Hurricanes get it done. What an impressive, epic turnaround from the record we had last season to going a perfect 14-0 this season, winning the ACC chip, winning the Natty, and we got it done in season number 2. Darius Johnson breaks the school record for receiving yards in the season. Ja'Cory Harris breaks the record for passing yards in the season. Ja'Cory Harris breaks the record for passing touchdowns in the season. Darius Johnson breaks his own record for receptions in the season. Ja'Cory threw for 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns to 19 picks. On the ground, Greg Cooper ran for 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Darius ends it with 91, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns. Travis Benjamin, 63 catches, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. 6 touchdowns for Billy Sanders, 5 for Greg Cooper, 3 for Theron Collier. To my surprise, boys, we get back on track. We win the Natty in NCAA 10, NCAA 11 with Tebow on the cover. Let's jump into the dynasty. More familiar faces here. Ja'Cory Harris is back for his junior season. Stephen Morris is here as a true freshman. We even got AJ Highsmith. Running backs, Greg Cooper, Lamar Miller as a freshman. Damian Berry still here. Storm Johnson before he went to UCF. Fullback, Patrick Hill again. Leonard Hagerson, Travis Benjamin, LaRon Bird, Theron Collier, Kendall Tompkins, Darius Johnson. Tight end, we got Richard Gordon, Billy Sanders, Clive Walford. Looking at the O-line, it's pretty decent. We got Alan Bailey at left end. Right end, we got Adewale Ajamo. Fortson at Holmes at D-tackle. McCarthy for his senior season at left outside linebacker. Cheyon Green at middle linebacker with Raymond Buchanan. Right outside linebacker, Sean Spence is here still. Cornerback, we got Brandon Harris, DeMarcus Van Dyke, Jamal Reed, Ryan Hill, Brandon McGee. Free safety, Ray Armstrong. This is after his breakout rookie season. And then strong safety, Vaughn Telemack. So in this season number 1, the Canes go 9-3. Some tough losses. Lost to Georgia Tech. We lost to Florida State. And we lost to Ohio State earlier in the year. Ja'Cory Harris had 3,600 passing yards this year. Greg Cooper had 801 rushing yards. Leonard Hankerson had 1,100 receiving yards. McCarthy led us in tackles with 33 solo. Sack leader is going to be Green with 6.5. And our pick leader is Telemack with only 2. So we're back in the bowl games, taking on Ole Miss. That will be in Atlanta. And we lose the game 31-20. We got absolutely blanked in the second half. Yards were pretty close. We probably turned the ball over a bunch. Ja'Cory only threw 1 pick, only for 190 yards though. On the ground, we couldn't get anything going through the air. 4 catches for Bird. He led everything. 2 touchdowns for Greg Cooper though. And we're going to end season number 1 9-4. Ja'Cory breaks the school record. Hakerson breaks the school record. Hakerson breaks the yards record. Players leaving. Ja'Cory's trying to go to the draft. Now you got to bring your ass back here. What it came down to, I just didn't see myself staying around another year. So our quarterback of the future is gone. Our plans completely had him staying for another year. We need Clive Walford not to go to Georgia Tech either. Transfer is my best option to see significant playing time. So we're losing 2 players that were in my long-term plans. Take a quick look at everybody else that's leaving. We got some dogs leaving, but I think we can reshape and retool. Well, at least I hope so. All right, boys. So recruiting did not go well at all here, man. Going into season number 2, we have the 86th best recruiting class, 4 4-stars, 7 3-stars, and 1 2-star. Season number 2, we are number 13 in the nation. Now, our quarterback situation isn't the greatest. We did bring in a 4-star quarterback, so Stephen Morris is going to be our guy for right now. Storm Johnson is getting a start at running back, a little bit over Lamar Miller. Fullback, we don't really care about. Wide receiver, we got 2 90s, 84, 84, not bad, but we are old at that position. Tight end, we got a freshman who's good. The O-line is all right, and I think we might be in another game where we're going to struggle to win a national title. So in season 2, we go 9-3 again. We're number 22 in the nation. We're headed to Atlanta in the Chick-fil-A Bowl to take on UGA. And we actually ended up starting the true freshman over Stephen Morris. The true freshman was bad. 2,100 yards, 12 touchdowns, 15 picks, but we made a promise to him that he would have significant play time, so we just went ahead and threw him to the Wolves. Storm Johnson ran for 1,400, 13 touchdowns. LaRon Bird led us in catches and yards. We didn't score a lot of receiving touchdowns, but Travis Benjamin had 4 of them. Defensively, Jordan Fuchs led us in tackles with 93. He also led us in tackles for loss with 21. He led us in sacks with 5.5. Jamal Reed, Brandon McGee, and Brandon Harris led us in picks with 3 apiece. And we get back on the board when it comes to bowl games. We knock off UGA, so we get 10 wins this year. So players leaving. Lamar Miller wants to go to UNC. I actually want my boy to stay. My heart is no longer here, coach. You know how it is. Lamar Miller was one of my favorite backs IRL at Miami. Sucks to see him go. We got a good amount of our ballers leaving here, so we're going to have to really rebuild within the next 3 years to hopefully compete. We do get 1 transfer request though. That's going to be fire. That's going to be huge for us. Garrett Gilbert from Texas, 89 overall right now as a redshirt sophomore. He's got to sit out a year, of course. These are the old transfer rules, you know. We're in the older games. We just have to deal with it. But by the time Garrett starts for us, he should be like a 92 plus. Here we are at signing day. We got a top 30 class heading into season number 3. I'm not mad at it. 2 5-stars, 4 4-stars are the highlights. And we also got 8 3-stars. We come into season 3 ranked number 15 in the nation. Taking a look at our squad here, Stephen Morris has set himself apart from Keenan. So Morris is actually going to go back to being our starter this year. It's undeniable with the overall and the stats. Storm Johnson is at 88. Mike James is still here. Wide receivers definitely need some work. Tight end, I mean, like I said, boys, it's going to take a miracle for us to win a natty here with this squad. All right, boys, so the end of the regular season here, we do go 8-4. We drop an extra game in season 3. Stephen Morris throws for 1,800 yards, 18 touchdowns, 11 picks. Storm Johnson runs for 1,800 yards on the ground, 10 touchdowns. Streeter was our most effective receiver with 7 touchdowns. Travis Williams led us in total tackles. Greg Grant led us in total tackles. A freshman we brought in. Williams led us in solo. Tackles for loss goes to Olivier Vernon. Olivier Vernon is also the leader in sacks, and the leader in picks is going to be Brandon McGee with only 3. Storm Johnson breaks the school record for rushing yards in the season. He also breaks it for rushing yards in a career. And we lose our bowl game, so we finish the season 8-5. So on the bright side, after the season, we only got 1 player leaving us. When it comes to transfer requests, we got Genio Grissom from Oklahoma. So going into season 4, recruiting doesn't quite go as planned. No 5-stars, 2 4-stars, 6 3-stars, and 2 2-stars. All right, boys, so going into season 4, our team is not bad. We got a 95 free safety, a 94 middle linebacker, and like I said, Garrett Gilbert is going to be a 92 plus, so he's going to be a 94 for his senior season. I hate that he missed a whole year of eligibility. Storm Johnson is a 91, 89 Mike James. We got a right tackle that's at 89. Stephen Morris is at 87, but he 100% lost his job, believe you me. We are about to sling the rock a good little bit this season. I'm not going to lie to you. Keenan is still only at 81. That sucks. AJ Highsmith is going to be going, Lawrence Osborne. So we really only have 1 quarterback that's coming back next season. As far as throwing the ball, our wide receiver room, garbage. Basura. Super duper young, but not a lot of talent. But you know what I mean? I still want to throw the ball a good little bit because a good quarterback can help, you know, maximize all the abilities of a subpar wide receiver room, a la Tom Brady. All right, so preseason, the Hurricanes are not looking good, bro. 32 in the nation, B-, B. There's teams over them who aren't as good, so we'll see how things shake out. But, you know, for the most part, the top teams have stayed top teams, but it's kind of like slim picking throughout the rest of the top 25. All right, boys, so here in season number 4, we are in the ACC chip. 12-0, 8-0 in conference, taking on 11-1, 8-0 Clemson. All right, boys, so we get the win, 31-14. Take a look here. We ran for 152. We threw for 371. Gilbert has been a godsend for us this year, bro. And Storm Johnson continues to run for damn near 100 yards a game. Moore, 20 catches, 248 yards in this game, willed us to victory. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to get into this game or not. Oregon or Michigan have a conference title game, so I wonder if we're going to be able to jump over them at all. We're right behind Oregon, and we just handily beat the number 7 team in the nation. That's got to account for something for us, right? All right, boys, so Garrett Gilbert comes here, sits a year, plays a year, and he wins the Heisman Trophy by a landslide. 502 first place votes, 4,600 yards, 50 total touchdowns with 258 on the ground, and we miss the Natty. We get no love, even though we went 13-0. We're going to be in the Orange Bowl versus Texas. That is a travesty. Gilbert won the Heisman. He also won the Maxwell. He also won the Davey O'Brien. But this is why they got rid of the BCS ways and went to a playoff, bro. 13-0, and we get no love over Oregon. Oregon beat 1, 2, 3 ranked teams this year. We beat 1, 2, 3, 4 ranked teams in a conference championship. Virginia Tech was ranked when we beat them as well. So 5 ranked teams. And you know, this is just a hole in the matrix. And we, of course, naturally, with the way we've been playing, are Orange Bowl champs, 33-13. We easily win that game. Then you look at the Natty. Oregon got their cheeks clapped by Michigan. They didn't score for 3 damn quarters. Storm Johnson breaks the record for rushing yards in a career. It was his own record. He also breaks the record for rushing touchdowns in a career. Gilbert breaks the record for passing yards in a season. Gilbert breaks the record for passing touchdowns in a season. Moore breaks the record for receptions in a season. Dukes breaks the record for receptions in a career. He also breaks the record for receiving yards in a season. Moore breaks the record for receiving touchdowns in a season. Gilbert led the nation in passing with 5,000 yards. Storm Johnson was top 50 with 1,100. Receiving yards, Dukes was top 15. Tackle leader goes to Green with 48. Sack leader goes to Harris with 11.5. And pick leader goes to Reed on our team with only 2. So players leaving, this is where things gonna get dicey for us, bro. Dukes just had an amazing season at tight end. We gotta try to bring him back. He's ready for bigger and better things. Storm Johnson has been utterly consistent. Can we get him back? He's going to stick it out and earn his degree. That's huge, being that we're losing Garrett Gilbert. We need all the players we can get. We're losing a 95, 294s, 289s, an 88, an 83, and then, you know, a bunch of 70s. This team is still ultra young, and we're bringing back most of the core that got us to the point that we were last season. All right, so we get 2 transfers. Richard Dawson from Oklahoma, Brian Warren from Bum SU. All right, boys, for signing day, we have a small class, just 8 people. 5 4-stars, though. The 5th and final season, we come in preseason ranked number 8. Storm Johnson is our best player at a 95. 91 is going to be Joe Russell at right tackle. Stephen Morris is a 90 this year. Let's see if a year redshirt prepared him really to come back here to be our quarterback. I feel like he should be a little bit better, but we're going to keep our offense, you know, to be exactly the same. Another year of having a subpar, mediocre receiving core, but if we have the right quarterback, he can make them look a lot better than what they are. All right, boys, back-to-back seasons in the ACC chip. We're undefeated at this point once again. This time we're sitting at number 2. Comfortably. If we win, we should be in. All right, boys, we get the win in the conference chip, and Storm Johnson is going to be the Heisman winner this year. It was extremely close, but that is back-to-back Heisman trophies for us. He had 1,500 yards on the ground, another 1,000 yards through the air, 25 total touchdowns, and we are in the Natty 1 vs 2. USC at 12-0, 9-0, and we're 13-0, 9-0, ready to get it in. Storm Johnson also won the Walter Camp. Stephen Morris stepped up here in his senior season, 30 touchdowns to just 9 picks, 284 a game, 3,700 yards passing. Through the air, James Goodman, a true freshman, 90 for 1,144. With 10 touchdowns. Eduardo Clements had 3 touchdowns. Will Bullock had 3 touchdowns. Jordan Blankenship had 3 touchdowns. The young guys are stepping up for us tremendously. All right, boys, and the Hurricanes get it done. A perfect 14-0. The Cardiac Canes return as we win another one in the 5th and final season. This game was an instant classic. It went to OT. We won by a field goal, and the team relied heavily on Storm Johnson. 47 carries for 232 yards is insane. All right, boys, NCAA football 12. You know the vibes. Jump into a dynasty. We got 5 seasons. All right, man. So opening season rosters: Ja'Cory Harris, Stephen Morris. I mean, the same faces we just saw in the last game. This time, Lamar Miller is going to be the guy. Travis Benjamin is a senior. LaRon Bird is a senior. Darius Johnson, Tommy Streeter, Philip Dorsett is a freshman. Chase Ford at tight end. The O-line is serviceable. It's nothing crazy. We're definitely going to have to recruit. Olivier Vernon is still here and everything. The linebackers are looking good. Sean Spence is there. Corners need some work. We got Vaughn Telemack at free safety. Ray playing strong. All right, boys. So season number 1 surprised me. 13-0. We win the conference championship versus FSU 28-21. We're number 1 in the nation, and we're going to be in the Natty in season number 1. Ja'Cory Harris threw for 3,000 yards so far. On the ground, Lamar Miller ran for 720. In the air, Ford leads us with 1,000 yards receiving. Sean Spence leads us in tackles. Our sack leader is Olivier Vernon. Our pick leader is Nicholas with 4. And our kicker's longest field goal is 45 yards. So our guy Ford wins the John Mackey. And we're going up against Boise State in the Natty. We have not seen a group of 5 school in the Natty in any of the sims so far. And back in the BCS era, for those of you who remember, Boise State would have never got in over any of the Power 5 schools. So UCF and Boise are both undefeated and in the top 5 of the bowl rankings. All the other big teams had 1 or more losses. South Carolina with 1 loss at number 3, and the us or Boise are at top. UCF almost jumped South Carolina too, only behind by 0.003. All right, boys. So for my first PS3 game that's not glitching on the field, we get to see the boys celebrate and we get the job done. The Hurricanes are your champions here in season number 1. I don't remember the last game we won in season number 1, but this shit completely caught me off guard. But shout out to having to play Boise, even though we only won by 7 points. This team was way better on paper than I remember them being, but I do remember around this time, we should have been a lot better on the field than what we were producing, but our coaching and our play calling and all that shit was just down the drain, bro. Ja'Cory Harris is the player of the game, the MVP of the Natty. Let's go. You let us see it. So Ja'Cory Harris broke the school record for passing touchdowns in the season this year. Ford broke the record for receptions in the season. And just going over the stats real quick, 3,400 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks. Lamar Miller ran for 790, 10 touchdowns. Mike James, 683, 7 touchdowns. Ja'Cory has 6 touchdowns. Receiving wise, our tight end Chase Ford, 70 for 1075 and 11. Travis Benjamin, 67 for 1070 and 8. LaRon Bird, 57 for 870 and 11. Streeter had 5. Defensively, Ajamo led us in solo tackles with 32. Total tackles went to Sean Spence with 99. 24 tackles for loss to Ajamo. Olivier Vernon led us in sacks with 7.5. Nicholas led us in picks with 4. And now we're moving on to NCAA 13. Here we are in one of the most underrated games in the series, NCAA 13. Now, this is a game I didn't play a ton of when it actually came out because it came out when I was in basic training in the AIT in the Army, but I have played a lot of it since it came out, and I'm excited about this one. All right, boys, so day 1 roster, Ray Armstrong is going to be the best player on the team as a 93. Stephen Morris is the starter day 1. We got Ryan Williams after him, Preston Dewey, and Gray Crow. We got Mike James still here at running back. We got Eduardo Clements. Wide receiver, we got Alan Hearns, Rashawn Scott, Philip Dorsett, Kendall Tompkins, Malcolm Lewis, Angelo Jean Lewis. Like, you know, if you're a Miami fan, you remember these guys. We got Asante Cleveland at tight end. O-line definitely needs some work. And this is, like I said, this is one of the games where I do fear it's going to be harder to win. I know I've said that in a few games and they've surprised us and won, but you know what I'm saying? This is, things were really deep as a Miami fan these few seasons. So season number 1 went kind of poor. 6-6. Stephen Morris threw for 2,300 yards. Mike James ran for 850. Cleveland caught for 797. Paul had 32 tackles. Chicolo had 4.5 sacks. Ray Armstrong had 3 picks. Even at 6-6, we make a bowl game, but it's crazy as hell because we play in the number 10, 11-1 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And we lose to Notre Dame 30-10. We finished the season under 500 at 6-7. Now take a look at what we got going on here with players leaving. We got Greg Crow going to FAU. We got Larry Hope trying to head to South Carolina. Doesn't look like we'll bring him back, but I'm gonna just make something crazy. He said he's still leaving. And we're losing 2 players to transfer. Ray Armstrong is projected to go in the first round. And for the most part, man, everybody else leaving is good, but we ain't really missing out on nothing. Take a look at transfers. 75 overall, redshirt freshman Dewani Mara wants to come to our squad. So going into year 2, we have the 2nd ranked recruiting class. 1 5-star, 14 4-stars, 8 3-stars, and 1 2-star. So season 2, the team, we have some 90s. You know what I mean? We got some ballers. Stephen Morris still ain't playing that well. Ryan Williams is going to be all right. But we got to find our next quarterback in the future. We did bring in Michael Sanders. We do have Preston Dewey. I just don't believe any of those 2 are the guys. Running backs looking okay. Fullback, who cares? Wide receivers, Alan Hearns is going to be Alan Hearns. Sean Scott and Philip Dorsett. You know what I'm saying? So we got some ballers there. Tight end, Asante Cleveland. We're bringing back a lot of players that were part of the team that went 6-6, well 6-7 last year. So let's see if we can build upon some. Let's see if we could build upon some of the good we did. All right, boys. Season 2 is a lot better. We're 8-3 heading into the conference championship week. Not in our conference championship, but ranked number 17 in the nation. So this year we're going to be in the Chick-fil-A Bowl, which is the ACC versus the SEC, and we're going up against South Carolina, who's 8-4. All right, boys. So we win the Chick-fil-A Bowl, so we get a bowl win, and we finish the season 9-3, number 15 in the nation. That's respectable, not bad. Players leaving after season number 2. We got Nick Simmons heading to the portal, going to Clemson. That's cool. Have a good career. Chicolo staying from the draft. Bunchy staying from the draft. McDermott staying from the draft. Green, Highsmith, and Hearns are all going to the draft. And then we got other players that we are losing to graduation, like Stephen Morris and some of these guys who might even still play in the NFL, but for the most part, it's not looking good, and we are losing a lot of players. Ryan Williams goes up to a 91, so I'm thoroughly pleased about that. Dallas Crawford is at 87. Receivers, we got Rashawn Scott is at 90. Dorsett is at 89. Malcolm Lewis is at 81. We got a tight end being one of our receivers this year. That's how much we need more bodies. Ryan Williams finishes 3rd in Heisman voting, which means he had an amazing season. And we are going to be ACC champs. Chicolo won the Lombardi, so us making him come back work. Finney's going to win the Thorpe. Davis is going to win the Ray Guy. And we are in the Natty, 13-0, taking on #1 Wisconsin, who is also 13-0. All right, boys, so the clock hits triple zeros again. 44-21 is going to be your final score. The Canes came out here and got it done. Now, on paper, this team wasn't that good, bro. We're really getting lucky in some of these sims, and we're winning some close games. We're winning by 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 7 points, some blowouts, but we're winning games that I just don't feel like we're supposed to win. And Ryan Williams carried us this season, had an amazing year, nearing the Heisman win, but he got something bigger in this BCS National Championship, and we're moving on to NCAA 14. All right, boys, so here go our base roster for the first season. We got Stephen Morris, who's a senior, 88 overall, followed by Ryan Williams, Kevin Austin, Gray Crow. We got Duke Johnson at running back taking over. We got Dallas Crawford. We got Eduardo Clements, Gus Edwards, Maurice Hagan at fullback. We got Alan Hearns, Philip Dorsett, Stacey Coley, Herb Waters, Rayshawn Scott, Malcolm Lewis, Jontavius Carter. Tight end, Clive Walford. We got Asante Cleveland. Left tackle, Eric Flowers. John Feliciano at left guard. Shane McDermott at center. Brandon Linder at right guard. Right tackle, we got Sean Trail Henderson. Left end, we got Shayon Green. Anthony Chicolo at right end. Curtis Porter and Osa Pierre at D tackle. Thurston and Brister at left outside linebacker. Middle linebacker, Jimmy Gaines and Raphael Kirby. Denzel Perryman at right outside linebacker. Gunter Howard, Burns, Rogers II, Antonio Crawford, Corn Elder at corner. Free safety, we got Deion Bush. Strong safety, we got Rayshawn Jenkins, AJ Highsmith, and we got a few others. But one thing we know that we can do in this game, if we can in any other game, that's recruit. This might be the easiest challenge to win the Natty. All right, boys. So at the end of the regular season here in season #1, we go 9-3. We're number 16 in the nation, and we have earned our way into the Holiday Bowl, taking on 8-4 USC, and we lose our bowl game 17-10. So our official record is 9-4. So players leaving after 1 year. Kevin Olsen is trying to transfer to Pitt. He's good as gone. Hunter Knighton, he's trying to transfer as well. He's good as gone. Standish Dobart, he's gone. And then Gray Crow is going. Then we got our guys going to the draft. Henderson, Hearns, Green, Porter. And then we got other guys we will be losing. So we're losing some ballers all around. We're losing our starting quarterback who had a pretty decent year. Top classes heading into season #2. We're top 3 at number 3. 3 5-stars, 7 4-stars, 9 3-stars, 2 2-stars. We're coming into season 2, preseason ranked number 16. Ryan Williams is going to be our starter. Our quarterback of the future is going to be Adam Parrish. Duke Johnson is a 94. Crawford is an 84. Fullback is whatever. Wide receiver room isn't the craziest, but it's not bad. Walford is the 88 at tight end. Take a look at the O-line. The O-line is serviceable. The D-line looks really good. Linebackers, fire. Cornerbacks, still need a little bit of improvement, and our safeties are looking good also. All right, boys, so in season #2, we are in the conference chip. We are undefeated and #1 in the nation right now. When we come out here in the ACC chip and get it done, 35-28 is going to be your final score. Here in season 2, Ryan Williams finishes 4th in the Heisman voting. Johnny Manziel actually wins it. And we're going up against Louisville in the Natty. They're 12-0. And the Hurricanes come out here and get the job done, 24-14. Ryan Williams breaks the school record for passing yards in the season at 4,000. He breaks the record for passing touchdowns in the season with 36. Philip Dorsett breaks the reception record in the season. And we're now moving on to the last and final game, the actual sports game of the year, College Football 25. Now, obviously, we've skipped a decade worth of Miami players, but here we are in College Football 25. Our quarterback's going to be Cam Ward. We got Damian Martinez and Mark Fletcher at running back. We got Restrepo and George at receiver, along with Isaiah Horton, Sam Brown, Josiah Trader. At tight end, we got Elijah Arroyo, Cam McCormick. Take a look at the O-line here. Now, our O-line is pretty good IRL. You know what I mean? A lot of Cam sacks are on itself. We got Barron at left end, Bain Jr. at right end, Barrow Jr. and Messador at D tackle. Outside linebacker Hayes, Bobby Goa at middle linebacker, you know the vibes there. Right outside linebacker, we got Ben Saint, Porter Jr., Frederick Jr., Richard Hill and Stafford at corner. Free safety, we got Michael Powell. And at strong safety, we got Jaden Harris. All right, boys. So unlike real life, we are in the ACC tournament and we ran the table. We didn't have those lapses in the Syracuse and Georgia Tech game. We're number 2 in the nation, taking on Clemson. And for all intents and purposes, we should be a lock for the playoffs. And we go ahead and knock off Clemson in the ACC championship. We are undefeated. So we're going to win Coach of the Year this year. Our OC also wins the Broyles Award. Dylan Gabriel is this season's Heisman. Our playoff road consists of having a first round bye. We play the winner of Liberty and Indiana. Then we play the winner of whoever Utah plays after Jacksonville State and Ole Miss. And then hopefully and ultimately we will play somebody on the bottom half for the bracket in the national championship. All right, so going over the rest of the awards, Cam Ward wins Player of the Year. Cam Ward also wins the Best Quarterback, aka the Davey O'Brien, what he won in real life. SDB goes to Darryl Porter Jr. of the U. Let's get it. Best Running Back goes to Damian Martinez. Cam Ward wins the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm. Elijah Royal finishes second for the Tight End of the Year. All right, so the bye is over. We're headed to Atlanta, and we're going to be playing number 7 Indiana. All right, boys, and the Hurricanes win their first CFP matchup versus Indiana, 24-17. Wasn't pretty, but a win is a win. All right, boys, we get the dub, so we will be taking on the Utah Utes. So the Utes ended up getting Ole Miss, and then they beat Ole Miss by 4. On the other end of the spectrum, Clemson got the brakes beat off of them by Ohio State. Michigan barely beat Notre Dame. Ohio State beat the brakes off of Texas, and then Michigan lost by 4 to Oregon. Ohio State versus Oregon in the semifinal. All right, boys, so the Hurricanes come out here and the Cardiac Cane theme continues. 21-19 in this game, and we are moving on to the Natty. This game was essentially a home game at our home stadium, and Cam Ward got it done. So it's Natty time, boys. Oregon bumped off Ohio State again. Number 1 versus number 2. You got the Hurricanes taking on the Ducks. Let's get it. All right, boys, the clock hits 000s, and the Hurricanes come out here in season number 1 and get the job done. Cam Ward wills his boys to victory. Oregon played a great game. They had a phenomenal season, but in the end, we were able to bump off the Heisman Trophy winner. Seeing ourselves hoist the trophy here, and Cam Ward, 19 for 31, 245, 3 touchdowns, no picks. On the ground, Damian Martinez ran for 105 and scored a touchdown as well. Through the air, Jacoby George, 7 for 78. Isaiah Horton, 6 for 86 and a touchdown. Restrepo was only held at 2 catches for 28 yards. Martinez had a receiving touchdown, and so did Arroyo. Malagoa led us in tackles with 7. He also had a sack. And Darryl Porter Jr. had our lone pick. So after 13 games and 18 hours of recording, we got the job done. We won a Natty in all but 1 game with the Miami Hurricanes. This video was hella fun. Even though it did take up a lot of my time, I had a blast recording it and rebuilding my favorite college football team on 13 different games. If you want to see a video where I play the career of Shedeur Sanders all the way from Colorado up until when he retires from the NFL, click right here. And if you want to see a video where I score a 99-yard touchdown with the fastest player in every single NCAA football game, click right here. With the amount of time it took me to record, edit, and drop this video, if you guys like this video and hit that sub button, it would mean the world to me.